Okay, I've got the ladder out. It's a beautiful Saturday. It's in the 60s right now. Big change from where it was. Gonna get up here and slowly make my way up to the wonderful cracked and pitted and God knows what else. Oh, this looks like there's a bolt that's missing off of here. That's even better. So yeah, I'm gonna work on getting this. Looks like this one didn't even make it onto the actual flange, but you know, hey. We're gonna take this off today. I think I can use a heat gun to some extent to try to soften up some of the bolts here. But the first thing I need to do is get a screwdriver and pop these little flange covers off. And do it that way. So we're gonna do that here. Get some kind of tool to pop the cover off. Oh, got all sorts of stuff here. Still got the refrigerator doors there. Let's see here. We have a Phillips head screwdriver. Of course not, because you know that would make sense. Even a chisel would work probably pretty well. Gonna have to go work back into my hole of a workshop here and see what we got screwdriver wise. Nope, that's wrenches. I need those at some point too. Oh, here we go. So I got a little flathead screwdriver. Yep, it's my old E21 here, just so people know. Got my little project going on there, among other things. So I'm going to pop this cover off real quick. And it says it is so beautiful sunny outside today. Put this up here. Yeah, we're gonna try to pop off these little flange covers here. Let me get my other hand on this so you can actually see what I'm doing. I hope. Ooh, these are a little crunchy. Little on the crunchy side. That's what I'm thinking. Sure, I'm not doing that. Kind of weird. Okay. So I'm just looking because it's hard to tell because the screen is so dim and the sunlight is so bright. You can see I'm just like peeling these away. Probably not the best way to attack these things, but it looks like it's, you know, I'm not going to reuse this anyways. So I'm going to get over here. Looks like it's already been messed with at least once. There we go. And then this one. There we go. Now you would hope, you know, that this would actually just come off. And it does. Well, there you go. Makes a nice, I don't know, what, buffet dish or something, casserole dish. Anyways, so there's a metal shaped piece there. Here's my little screen. What's left of it, I guess. Somebody's put some insect screening on here and folded it down. Stop most of the stuff anyways. You see what I need to get at are all these bolts, and I do not think I'm going to be able to do that very well. You can see there's like definite gaps underneath here. Bolts with pieces off of them, and this stuff is just crumbling. So we're going to try to, looks like there's another screw there. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. We need to just kind of scrape it off and try to loosen this stuff up. And yeah, and you can see it's kind of a low point too, which kind of makes me a little nervous. There's definitely like it's a bulge here with the aluminum, which it's gonna do what it does. But geez, you know, you'd think I'd be able to get, you know, a little higher point for this little vent here. So anyways, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this apart try to take it off intact and see what else we can work on to kind of clean it up and everything, get it ready for the new vent. You can see here I've been using a heat gun. Got an old Wagner paint stripper heat gun, and what I'm doing is I'm softening up the caulk and everything. I'm trying not to set fire to the RV here with it, but within a short few seconds, once it reached a certain temperature, you can see there's some of it is whatever the caulk or the die core is starting to actually move around under the heat, and I'm just using this to try to soften things up and use my screwdriver very gently, because it's fairly dull, to remove a lot of the excess die core here from the actual vent. It took a little bit of doing, but we did manage to get the heat gun to soften up everything. And if you noticed, there's a pattern going on here. Every other screw hole has been drilled. The other ones have been left open, and there's some sort of gasket underneath this, a black gasket. But these seams are all folded up. You can see the buckling going on here. That is not really what you want to see, obviously, where there's like a low point here. So yeah, I've got my little bucket full of chips. Got the cover, my little brush I use to kind of clean this thing up a little bit. So you can see every other screw was put in, and this one, and it buckled up in other places. Some places not so much, but I think enough to cause a problem with a leak. So it's a good thing. I'm going to actually build this up with some shims underneath to get this to raise up, and yeah, I'm going to try to get this so it actually sits a little, it sits on the high point on the roof as opposed to the low point on the roof. Got myself scratched by one of those staples inside the aluminum frame on the inside here, poking up a little bit, but I've let it bleed out, so I shouldn't have any tetanus issues. Plus it's aluminum, but anyways, I got to get a band-aid on that stupid thing. But this is what I've been pulling out of the inside of here, and you can see this is all just saturated, nasty. It's gone, dude. It's like, you know, the half-inch, look at it, it's like a sponge. And I've tried to pull out as much as I can here because it really is disgusting. And just trying to put in 3/4 inch plywood here, a perimeter, not only to build this up, but to replace the rotted plywood here that I've got. And luckily, it looks like I've got room to do it, but I'm going to have to rip some strips to make that happen. So in the meantime, I'm going to nurse my injuries and be back here. Okay, I've got 1 3/4 inch plywood put in there. I tapped it in just like that, lifted up the foam and got it in place, lined it up here, lined it up over here on this end of the hole. I cut it so it was about to the edge here and here, and then I've got other pieces that'll go in sort of form the corner here. So yeah, so I've got these here that are supposed to go in like that and fit in here, here, and then this one here is going to fit in between like that. And this is supposed to form. Now granted, that's probably not going to catch that one, but it's not 100% perfect, but it'll be better than nothing at this point because everything's rotted under here. Hope you can see here that that's the original paneling below. This is the all aluminum construction of the Allegro, and then I had to put the 1/2 inch back in to replace the rotted stuff, and then a 3/4 inch piece of finished plywood with what was left of the foam insulation bats, which are just two very thin rolled like 1/8 inch foam. Not 100% perfect, but you know, I'm gonna do the gaps here, gonna caulk the gaps up, and at least it's now sitting proud of the roof, which is good. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me just try to get in here. There we go. It's now sitting, it's a little bit of a higher point, which is good. And a lot more of the rotted garbage is, I mean, this is, look at this. This just falls apart. It's done. This is what was inside my RV. No thank you. I'm going to get rid of that wherever I can. Thicker roof system, you got to think about, okay, I'm going to, you know, attach the roof vent through the underlayment, through the top aluminum panel, through the underlayment that I just put in, the 1/2 inch plywood I put in, and the aluminum frame. And you think to yourself, well, that's great, it's got a grommet on it, but there's no way that's going to fit all the way through. It's going to seal up nice, don't get me wrong, that's kind of cool, but that's not going to go all the way through. And that's a 14x1 bonded sealing screw. It's a self-tapper. These are all self-tappers. This one here is a 1.5. It's a 10. Number 10, and that's typical. I still have the bit in here for this too, by the way. That might go through everything, but it doesn't have a seal on it, which the old ones did not either, so that's why I got the die core. These look to be the ones that are going to do the job. Obviously a little bigger on the bit. Let me just see if, oh no, that'll fit. Okay, so this bit works for all of them, which is cool. No, maybe not this one. This one's really huge. So I may use these in lieu of these. I don't know. These almost look the same, except they're a little different gauge. These are 10s. These are 12s. Woo! So I've got a lot more of these than these, so I may use these and get rid of the regular screws from the die core. That way I know I can get in through to the aluminum frame. Probably don't have to do it for all of them. It's not like, you know, I'm worried about, you know, a hurricane pulling the vent off. But in the meantime, you know, I'm glad we got some of this hardware here available for my roof vent install through the additional plywood that I'm going to do here. So I'm going to take this real quick and run back up on the roof. Yeah, I'm just going to run back on the roof. Let's do that. That's safe. So I'm going to do this, and you can see it does not go all the way through all the layers, but it gets a little bit of the way through. I might want something that's a little bit longer. This is 1.5 inches. Well, we want 1 3/4 inches, but I do at least want to kind of get this secured. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, honestly. If I can get it all the way through like this, with the self-tappers in, and it might be tapping a couple threads through, I think that might be good enough. It'll keep it'll keep the vent from shifting around, you know, and it'll hopefully provide a really good seal. I'm also going to put some additional sealer around this edge here. I'll show you that as well. It's kind of a ice and water shield with an aluminum coating on it, which should help keep this sealed up. Well, here is the product I used. It's Cofair Products Tight Seal window flashing, and this is, it's aluminum on one side It's elastomeric on the back, and I got to tell you, this stuff was flexible enough and rubbery enough that I was able to get it really tight in here. It formed over a lot of the staples that I couldn't pull out, and it formed a rubber seal over them. And you can see here, this opening is super tight and sealed. Even if it leaks, it's gonna, the screws are gonna form. The rubber is gonna form around the screws. It's gonna provide a really tight seal here, which is what I was shooting for. So, got that all sealed up. Got the 3/4 inch plywood in here to build it all up. I hope you can see that it's much higher than the rest of the area here. And next is getting the rooftop vent. You can see there's little spots here that are a little flexible, but I'm not too worried about that because it seems to work really well with this. I've double sealed it, and we should be good to go to get the new roof vent on with the strip of die core and start tapping the screws in. Started using these 12 by 1.5s to get the I started from the center and worked my way out. I managed to crack one, unfortunately I overstressed it, but I'll seal that up real good with die core, make sure that's not an issue. So I've been working myself from the middle towards the ends to try to squash it out and see what I can do. So let's get another one in here. Oh, I'm gonna put one right there. Put it in. I'm gonna get that started. There we go. Yep. Trying to do this one-handed, so it's not exactly the easiest. Not trying to put them in too far right yet. Might torque them a little bit. You can see how the die core is oozing out of the edge. That's what I'm trying to do here. So I've got some here on the edge. You just tap them in. Put these here. Do the same thing on the other side. There we go. Just got to start them here. Yeah, the crows and everything have been crazy today. It's been warm, so they've all been waking up, and the wildlife has been going absolutely haywire the last couple days. Anyway, so here we go. Oop. Don't push too hard. Let the self-tappers do their job. Don't want to do that one in too tight either. Sit for a little bit. This one sit. Like I said, I don't want to snap the flange here because you can see there's a bit of a bow here like the old one. So what I usually do is I take this die core that's left over and I'll force it into those little corners there. I'll get it forced in with a putty knife. Usually finger tight's pretty good. Let me get it in there. Just force it in under there. Make sure it's got a nice tight fit. There we go. Must be dinner time because I can still smell somebody cooking a steak on a barbecue right now. Smells really good. Wish I was cooking a steak on a barbecue right now. Might do that later. Don't know. In any case, there's the die core. that in there. I've got my sealer tape there. I might cut that back a little bit just because it might get affected by the weather, but I'm going to leave it for now. And I'm going to do all these other screws in a second. All right, looks a little bit like a cruise ship, doesn't it? Or some sort of spaceship on top of my RV. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyway, so this is the Dometic, as you can see, the Dometic new refrigerator vent that we've installed on the RV. It's my new roof vents look a little old, I think. We'll get to them too. There's some issues with caulking and everything we need to address, and along with the cleaning up the roof a little bit and the AC system. We'll get to that too. And even more importantly, if I can get up here a little taller, is that front seal, which it's been siliconed like crazy, and it really needs to be done because I think that's a lot of my issues with some leaks coming in through the front of the cab. Not huge leaks, but some leaks. So we're going to take care of that as well in an upcoming video. So everyone, take care on this beautiful day, and be safe, happy, and safe and healthy RV.